So last class we have seen the closed loop operation of VSI fed drive. So here today we will see how this VSI fed drives handles the braking operation or braking in VSI fed drives. And I think all of you know what's the meaning of this braking, and you might have studied the different types of braking also. So how this braking handled by VSI fed induction motor drive. So consider one such VSI fed induction motor drive. So assume that this is your VSI voltage source inverter. And the output of this VSI is a 3-phase AC which is connected to an induction motor. Okay, and assume that this is the stator voltage, fundamental component of stator voltage. Let IS be the fundamental component of stator current supplied by this VSI, and let phi be the angle between this VS and IS. For this VSI you have an input DC voltage source. Okay, so VS is the fundamental voltage, fundamental component of stator voltage. IS is the fundamental component of stator current per phase, and angle between VS and IS is phi. So power input to the motor. What is the power input? To the motor. P in is equal to, since it's a 3-phase motor, 3 into Vs Is cos phi. This is the basic power equation. And in this kind of VSI fed drives, both motoring and regenerate braking can be done. So during motoring operation, means the normal operation. VSI acts as this DC will be converted to this AC by this VSI, and this AC is fed to the induction motor, and the induction motor works as a normal motor. That's the meaning of motoring operation. During the motoring operation, the angle phi is always less than 90 degree, which means P in is always going to be positive. What is the meaning of P in is positive? Power is always flowing from VSI to this induction machine. This is the direction of power flow. Because power flow is positive, P in is positive, power is always feeding from the source to the machine. That's the meaning of the motoring operation. Now what happens if the machine is suddenly loaded? If it is loaded, normally the thing happening is that the frequency may decrease. And what happens if frequency decreases? Because ns equal to 120 f by p. If frequency decreases, ns, the synchronous speed decreases. What happens if the synchronous speed decreases? You have this machine, stator and the rotor. Okay, it is fed by a VSI. So when the synchronous speed reduces, what happens? Synchronous speed decreases, and one stage ns becomes less than nr. What is nr? nr is the rotor speed, actual running speed, and ns is the synchronous speed. At one stage, what happens if ns, synchronous speed, less than the actual speed? So immediately the slip negative, which means that the rotor induced voltage and the rotor induced current reverses. Okay, and as a result, the component of the stator current also reverses, because the actual happening is that the relative speed between the rotor current and the rotor field reverses when this happens, ns less than nr. The relative speed between rotor conductors and the rotating magnetic field reverses. As a result, rotor voltage reverses, rotor current reverses, and the component of the stator current also reverses. So when this component of the stator current reverses, if you draw the phase diagram, you can see that the angle phi becomes greater than 90 degree. So what happens? Power become phi greater than 90 degree. As per the equation, power in Vs 3 into Vs Is cos phi. The when phi greater than 90 degree, what happens is that the P in is going to be negative. What is the meaning of P in negative? Power flow reverses. Power flow reverses means instead of flowing power from source to load, now the power is going to flow from motor to the VSI, motor to source. This is power flow. Power flow reverses. Okay. So the machine acts as generator now. Instead of this motoring operation, the machine now acts as a generator. And the feeding, it generates the voltage, and this voltage is feeding back to this source. Okay. So based on this operation, the power is feeding back to source. Based on this, braking can be classified into two. There are two types of braking generally employed, classified into two. One is called the regenerative braking, and another mode of braking is known as the dynamic braking. So as the name implies, what is the meaning of regenerative braking? There is an induction machine and there is a VSI. Okay, input to the VSI is a input to this VSI is a DC source. So regenerative braking means the power generated by the induction machine is fed back to this source, and it is fed back to this DC voltage source. The power flow generated from the induction machine is fed back to the source. That is the meaning of regenerative braking. It is fed back to source means it can be used for some useful applications. That's the meaning of regenerative braking. And what is dynamic braking? The power generated by the induction machine is there, and it is wasted in a resistor. For the quick braking of this machine, if it is dissipated in a resistor and it is not used for useful application, then that type of braking is known as the dynamic braking in an induction machine. So we will discuss about these two braking, dynamic braking and regenerative braking. So first let's see dynamic braking. I'll draw the diagram of a PWM inverter, how the dynamic braking occurs here. Okay, so assume that you have a three-phase AC supply here. So first this AC supply should be converted into DC supply using a diode rectifier. The output is DC, so here I am using a switch. Okay, and this is the DC link capacitor. So DC link voltage is here, and I am using a resistor R in series with a transistor switch or any other type of switch. The output of this is fed back to or given to, this is DC, so it should be inverted. So I am connecting this to an inverter, and the inverter output I am taking and will be given to induction machine. So if you look at this part, an inverter feeding an induction machine, this is a normal VSI fed induction motor drive, and this arrangement, the switch SW, the switch S here, and this resistor R is for the dynamic braking. Switch SW, switch S and R, they are connected in series for the dynamic braking. So normal operation happens like SW is closed, switch S is open, and the normal motoring operation happens like in every VSI fed induction machine. Now during the braking operation, what happens is that the power from the machine acts as a generator. Power has to feed back to source, or power flow reverses. It's not feeding to source in dynamic braking. Power flow has to reverse. So during that process, the operation is the switch SW open. When the switch SW opens, you have this inverter, then this RS, switch, capacitor, and this part is open, it is not connected. So what happens is that based on the voltage generated here, the capacitor charges to that particular voltage. Capacitor is going to charge. When the capacitor voltage reaches a particular value, this switch is closed. So immediately what happens is that when the capacitor reaches a particular value, immediately the switch is closed. When the switch is closed, what happens? The voltage across the capacitor is immediately dissipated in this resistor. Okay. So when the voltage across the capacitor dissipates, at some stage the voltage falls below a particular value across capacitor. Okay, during that stage the switch is again open. Based on some control mechanism, switch is again open. Okay, switch again open means what? Capacitor again charges. When the capacitor voltage reaches a preset value, it again discharges. So in this way, the generated EMF or the generated voltage effectively dissipated in a resistance. That type of mechanical arrangement or the mechanism is known as the dynamic braking. That's the developed energy is not used for any useful application. It's simply dissipated in a resistor for the braking of the machine. Okay, that's the meaning of dynamic braking. Now what is regenerative braking? We are not going to dissipate this in a resistor, we will supply this energy back to source. That's the meaning of regenerative braking. Now let's see the regenerative braking in this machine. So normally this is very simple. The meaning is that if you have a DC source like this, it's a normal inverter I am drawing, VSI fed drive I am drawing. So this is VD, this VD is given to an inverter, this is induction motor. This is the DC voltage VD and this is the DC link current ID. So in this machine the regenerative braking happens when the machine acts as a generator, immediately power flow reverses. Power flow reverses means this AC will be converted back to DC here, and this DC is effectively fed to the DC source. And this is the meaning of regenerative braking. So this if you are using this type of drive where you are using where you are connecting to this VSI using directly from a DC source, the regenerative braking happens naturally. But there are other type of VSI fed induction machine drives that we have drawn in the previous class. I have discussed that. One such device is, if the input is AC, first we will convert that AC into a diode rectifier and output of that is given to inverter. We have seen such type of VSIs also. So how regenerative braking happens in that type of drive? For example, the input is AC. First this AC should be converted to DC using a diode rectifier. Okay, output of the diode rectifier is given to DC link, and this output is, this DC is given to inverter, its output is given to induction machine. So for the regenerative braking happens here, what is the thing that you need? Because the inverter output power is AC, and this AC must be converted to DC and fed back to this AC must be converted to the source. AC must be given to the source. The power to this DC link, that is the power to this DC link, must be transferred to AC supply. Okay, but what is the problem here, or what is the challenge here is that during this process, both in motoring and in regenerative braking, the polarity of this VD remains the same, whereas ID has to reverse in generating mode. So converters capable of carrying current in both directions were employed, like a dual converter. So we can use a dual converter here for this regenerative braking mechanism. But this dual converter arrangement nowadays Another type of arrangement, that is a recent drive, uses a device called synchronous link converter, SLC, synchronous link converter, because it takes sinusoidal current at unity power factor from AC source. This converter takes the sinusoidal current at unity power factor from AC source during both motoring and regenerative braking operations, and the performance is also superior, and it requires less devices than a dual converter. Okay, so now let's see the basic structure of an SLC fed induction motor drive for braking. So this is the diagram. You have the AC 3-phase supplies available. So first this is the SLC arrangement, an inductor connected to one PWM inverter number 1. Okay, so this arrangement, the inductor along with this PWM inverter, is called the SLC, synchronous link converter, and this output, so this PWM inverter one side it is having AC, so the other side is DC. So this is fed to a DC link capacitor. Output of the DC link capacitor, again normal connection, connected to another PWM inverter. This is PWM inverter number 2, and output of this inverter is connected to our normal induction machine. Okay, so this is actually SLC, and this supply voltage here, AC supply, and let it be the stator supply voltage Vs and Is. The PWM inverter output voltage here, let me call this as V1, because this is inverter number 1, let me call this as V1. Okay, and the voltage of the PWM inverter 2 is V2. Okay, now during motoring and braking mode of operation, the PWM inverter 1 operates in such a way that both this Vs and Is are in phase, and unity power factor is achieved. For example, if during motoring mode of operation, this is a phase diagram. Vs is a supply voltage, and Is is the same, in phase with Vs. Based on that Is, at some angle we have to generate this V1. This is the principle. The principle is that Vs should be in phase with Is. For that, PWM inverter 1 is controlled in such a way that it should generate one such voltage to make this Is in phase with Vs during motoring operation. Similarly, during regenerative braking operation, the Vs is adjusted in such a way that you should get like this. V1 is adjusted in such a way that to get this braking operation delta. So this is controlled by the PWM inverter 1. Okay, now another feature for this synchronous link converter is that at steady state operation, we know that power supplied or taken by SLC should be equal to power supplied or taken by this inverter 2. Power supplied by inverter 2. This power should be equal to this power. That's the meaning. Power supplied or taken by SLC should be equal to power supplied or taken by inverter 2. So normally during the steady state operation, this happens. Okay, so when both are equal, no energy will be taken from the capacitor, and at steady state, these two things, the power supplied by the SLC should be equal to power supplied by this inverter. So this is achieved by providing a closed loop control of the DC link voltage. So I'll draw this first. For that, what you need is, you take this voltage, DC link voltage Vd, and it is compared with this is minus sign. It is compared with a reference DC voltage VD star. The error voltage is given to a controller. The controller output is given to PWM inverter 1. So how this power balance is achieved during this? When both are equal, when the power supplied by inverter 1 is equal to power supplied by this inverter 2, when both are equal, no energy will be taken from the capacitor. Okay, its voltage remains constant. This capacitor voltage remains constant, and this is known as the reference voltage VD star. Okay, now if we apply any load to this induction machine, load increases, power taken by the inverter 2 will be greater than the power supplied by the inverter 1, because the heavy loading of the induction machine causes the power supply taken from the inverter 2, that will be greater than the power supplied by the SLC. Immediately the capacitor voltage decreases, okay, than this reference voltage. Then during this we apply this error voltage is given to this controller. The controller controls this PWM inverter in such a way that it takes more stator current from the supply, okay, and the power supplied to this DC link increases again. So that power balance equation is controlled by this closed loop method. Whenever the capacitor voltage falls, immediately it is compared with the reference value. PWM inverter 1 controls in such a way that it takes more IS, and again the power becomes equal. So this is the basic principle of happening in SLC. So the regenerative braking operation can be like this. You can use an SLC, or you can use a dual converter, or if your input is purely DC, there is no AC at the input side, you can easily fed back this power back to source.